Hello YouTube, I know it's been a little while since I have macro snacks in my teeth. Why does it have to taste so damn good? Anyway, I know that it's been a while since I have been on YouTube, so straight back into it because I've got some exciting things I've been working on. So I have got a big challenge launching with some clients at the moment, and what I thought, what better way than obviously to get myself on track than to kind of go hand in hand with that and do my own form of personal challenge. So I will be competing in a powerlifting comp in about 10.5 weeks time. I think it's 11 weeks. And to go with that, I'm going to also be reducing my body fat. Now, a lot of people say, you know, you shouldn't diet into a comp, you're going to lose strength, blah, 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 blah. It's a novice comp, it's my first time, so I'm pretty happy with if I can go in and just maintain the strength I have, or maybe go up a little bit whilst I'm reducing body fat, because you've got to think about a strength to weight ratio. So it's all comparative. So my goal over this time is going to be to get down probably about 5-6 kilos, and then I'm going to also do a sum of skin folds reduction over 7 sites. So I'm not going to worry too much about the percentage, but I'm going to do a sum of in millimeters and try to reduce that down at least probably 30 to 40 mils over that 10-week period. That's going to be the goal. So why do I not use body fat as a measure of your weight? Well, there's a fair few reasons, but the biggest one is that it's not very comparable. Even DEXA scans, bioelectrical impedance, everything like that, they're so unreliable that it's way too hard to get a consistent reading. And I don't like to track my progress based on a number that I see on a machine. I don't really think that it helps your self-worth and self-value if it, say, doesn't go in the direction that you want it to. And at the end of the day, if you're trying to make changes that are positive in your life, why do you want something negative like that to come into play? So what I'm going to be doing is just doing that, and also progress photos. I hate taking progress pictures. They are not flattering, but they are honest. You know, selfies are your best angles, and I feel like progress pictures are probably your worst, but the most honest ones. So they're really, really important, and I'm going to be tracking them as well, and sharing them a bit more on social media, because I think it's important that coaches and people in the industry let people know that they're real as well, that I'm definitely not lean year round, and I've had my own struggles with you know, body fat, prioritizing myself, all of those things. But now that I'm really grabbing 2016 by the balls and making it, you know, one of the best years it can be in terms of my own personal goals, since I ticked a few business things off the list last year that I wanted to do, they got the opportunity to do, then it's not about being selfish, but it's about actually proving to myself that I can be dedicated and compliant, and all of those many things that I like to see in my clients as well. So, getting down to it, how am I going to break down the next 10 weeks? So what I'm going to be doing is filming every single week. There's going to be an upload on the progress and everything that's going on. So basically, I've written out my own strength program, and I've periodized it throughout the course leading into the competition. I have just finished my powerlifting course level 1 at PTC in Perth, which is an amazing course if you do want to go and do one and check it out. So from what I've learned in that course, plus obviously, you know, sports science background, I've put together a program for this meet, but then also had a little bit of help from my partner who's done powerlifting before, and the guys at PTC. So I'm just kind of doing it as a bit of a practice run for me in a programming sense for clients, to see how it responds in terms of strength, and then also, you know, yeah, just to see how the nutritional aspects in the program can go together. So my program at the moment, I have broken it down into, basically, I like to keep hard copies of everything and put them all in my training log. Basically, the first phase is a 6-week phase, and it's mainly a little bit more of a higher volume phase, but less intensity. And so what I mean by that is there's not as heavy loads, but there's a lot more reps, overall volume. So for example, like things like 4 or 5 sets of 8 reps, which is a lot higher than what I'd normally work in when I'm doing strength movements. So I usually stick in like, 1 to 6 rep range, that sort of thing. So I don't like it. I feel like I'm doing cardio, but that goes with the other benefit of the fact that I'm trying to drop my body fat down. So at the moment, my split is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last 6 days is a little bit of like core and mobility and a bit of plyometric work. But basically my split at the moment is glutes and shoulders, back, chest and delts, hamstrings and glutes, shoulder and arms, quads and glutes. I know you'll notice there's a lot of shoulders and a lot of glutes, and that is because my goal later in the year is a little bit more of an aesthetic one. So even though I'm doing a powerlifting prep, I'm still targeting my accessory work at a lot of the lagging body parts I'd like to bring up in terms of aesthetics, so shoulders and butt. But the main brunt of my lifts is like low bar squats, bench press, sumo deadlifts, overhead barbell press, low bar squats again. So I'm squatting twice a week, benching twice a week, and deadlifting once a week. Deadlifting is my strongest movement, and bench and squats is definitely my weakest. So at the moment, I haven't actually tested my 1RMs in a while. Due to my knee injury last year, I haven't really, what I feel, have gone to a true 1 rep max, but I probably can do an estimated 1 rep max based on training. I think it's always good to estimate your 1 rep max is a little bit lower when you're setting programming targets, because a 1 rep max is like your best you've ever felt in the gym. And how often do you go in and feel like you can hit a 1 RM? Not that often. So I like to set it a little bit below. So with my programming, I've set all my targets at about a 150 deadlift, which I did on the weekend a few days ago, and it felt really comfortable at Lane Norton's camp. And then a 70 bench press and I set it at 65, but I'm actually going to up that because I did a 70 for 3 and it felt really good. And then I set it at a 100 squat. That one I'm probably going a bit more conservative. I did do a 93 by 3 the other day. Obviously this is all in kilos, not pounds. If you're in America, you're going to think she's really, really weak. No, it's all in kilos. So if you think about a 150 kilo deadlift, it's about a 330 pound deadlift. So that's, if you want to figure out kind of where I'm at. So my goals for the comp is a 160 deadlift, 105 to 110 squat, and a 70 to 75 kilo bench. But I'm used to touch and go on bench. And powerlifting comp, you have to do, obviously wait for the referee's call. So I'm estimating that I'm going to be probably not pressing as heavy as I have probably before, but I'm going to, into my training programs, I've written in a lot of paused work and a lot of paused bench to get me used to that strength curve, because it's very different in explosive movement, where you can use a little bit more shoulders and a little bit more brute strength, whereas when you're waiting for a judge's call, it's definitely a lot more pec out of the bottom, which I'm not that strong in. And then, yeah, because my triceps tend to help me a lot of the way. So that is my goals in terms of training. In terms of cardio, I'm really backing it off. Not that I do a lot, but I'm just keeping it quite low volume to start and just mainly focusing on my diet and my strength training, because I don't want to do so much cardio that's detrimental to my weight training, because obviously I want to maintain strength. So at the moment for week 1, I did a HIIT session this morning, which is the first one in like 3 weeks, and I died. I did it on the prowler. It was horrible. I just did 8 rounds. About 20 to 25 seconds on the prowler and about 90 seconds rest between rounds. Took like 15 minutes and I was stuffed. So I'm doing 1 HIIT session, which I'll probably increase to 2 next week depending on my results. I'm doing like 2 walks with my dog, which I don't really even count as cardio, for about 45 minutes. And then 1 40-minute interval session. Depending on how some of my legs are, I'll either do it on the stepper or on like just walk and run kind of for intervals, either outside or on the treadmill. So that's pretty much it. So kind of 2 intense cardio sessions and just like 2 walks with the dog. So I did my weight check-in this morning. I did my measurements and they were scary. They were not nice. There's some of, my weight has increased a lot, and I understand that I've put on a lot of muscle in the past 1.5 years since I haven't really done a deficit. I haven't competed. But I've also put on some body fat, let's be honest. So it is a little bit scary, but I've got to take into consideration that I've gained muscle as well. Girls don't gain a lot of muscle, so I'm in the back of my head going, is most of it fat? But I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's a bit of water as well with eating more carbs. So my diet's going to obviously be manipulating. I'm starting to cut my calories down. I'm still having refeeds twice a week, and then everything else is pretty much a lower carbohydrate intake. Not super low, I'm still like well over the 100-gram mark on a low day, but we've got a lot of room to move. I'm kind of taking this slow. I tried to do a few deficits earlier in the year and I was really rushing them and then trying to add too much cardio too quick, which is never what I recommend with clients. The problem was it was just a timing thing, and then I got really sick for 2 weeks, and it kind of was like a wake-up call going, you know, you're not supposed to do that. You would not put your clients on that, so why are you doing that to yourself? So that's why I sat down, set all these new goals, and go from there. Anyway, so back to this. I'm going to be tracking every week, letting you know how I go, staying accountable. You guys are going to kind of be my accountability tool on the YouTube. So if I don't post, message me, be like, what are you doing? Send me a Snapchat, all of those things. Yeah, add me on Snapchat. It's at Ali Round, ALIRUND, same as my Instagram. So a little plug there. Add me on those. Let me know how you're going as well. You know, so people have been asking a bit, am I going to compete again? Compete, they mean bodybuilding. It's a tough one. I'm not 100% at the moment. I kind of want to see how this powerlifting goes. Obviously, it's only my first meet, but you know, I might fall in love with it. You never know. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to get back on stage. I don't think I'm finished with the stage, but it's not a priority at the moment. My priority is clients, feeling strong, all of that, getting my body fat down. But getting my body fat down doesn't mean I have to get on stage. It just means I want to get into a better position with my health and look after myself a little bit more. So now, I'm a busy person, and I'm sure a lot of you are really busy people. So how do you stay on track? How am I going to stay accountable? So I've set my goals for the week. Now, a really good idea, I like hard copies. I think phones are great for tracking. I track a lot of my numbers for training in here, but I've actually decided to print my weight program out and record week by week how I progress on that. On top of that, I've also got a diary here that has little sections, so that what I've got is each section means a different thing. So the first section is my cardio and weight training, and I just pretty much write like kind of notes on how I go, when I train, that sort of thing. The second section is my food diary. We won't look at that day because that was Easter. Lint bunnies. So then tracking my food, any food notes, like how you're feeling, that sort of thing. And then my next section is my goals. So obviously my goals for my lifts, my comp date, and then I'm going to count the weeks back from there. I've also put out some rough openers, but yeah, just any additional notes, tasks that I have to complete for the week. So it's a really good idea having something that you can have a reference back to as well after you've done something like this. My other goals this week is to drink water. I've been really slack with drinking water. Water really aids in weight loss, helping you feel hungry. So my goal is 4 liters a day. Eating my meals when I'm supposed to eat my meals. I get so busy and then I miss eating. So I've set reminders in my phone to say eat. Eat this meal, eat meal 1, eat meal 2, eat meal 3, eat meal 4, eat meal 5. Eating 5 meals a day. And then my other big thing is making time for meal organization and planning. I don't necessarily meal prep, like I don't cook all my food for the week. I like to eat a lot of fresh food, but I will organize my food. So what that means is like portioning off meat, pre-cooking a little bit of stuff and just putting it in bulk in the fridge, all of that sort of thing, making sure there's time to food shop, that you're not just grabbing at things. My other thing is tracking the training and volume. So I'm obviously doing that with my log, and really recording the weights you hit every week and how you actually feel, because you want to be increasing volume progressively. So obviously I'm adding weight to my lifts, but in my accessory work also trying to go a little bit heavier each week or add another couple of reps. So you're trying to set goals to set yourself up to succeed, not to set yourself up to fail. So make sure you set goals that are achievable, but they're also measurable and time bound. So these are my weekly goals. I'm going to check in again next Sunday and see how I'm tracking. So that's kind of the plan. So if you want to follow along, I'll also be updating you on what my clients are up to as well. They're doing an 8-week challenge, and trying to film some video footage as well in the gym of some of my training for this up and coming powerlifting comp. So it is the PTC novice comp. If you're in WA, come check it out. Come laugh at me when I have a lift. It's in, so yeah, 10, 11 weeks. So if you want to follow along, follow on social media. I would love to hear if you've done a powerlifting comp before. I'm a rookie, so Michaels, the workouts, nothing for you because you're a brat. I used macro snacks, protein, pancake mix, and blended in some pumpkin. All the macros are on the back. And then some extra pumpkin, and I added in some almond milk and some egg whites. Makes a pretty big batch actually. I used about 70 grams of the dry mix. Is finished product with some banana, a little bit of chopped Chobani yogurt, and my secret topping when you're dieting, this little bad boy, sugar-free kids chocolate, and I like it because it's sweetened with stevia, not nasty maltitol and sorbitol. Oh, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. That's like 20 grams of Chobani right there. Chobani! Oh dear. I'm gonna have to lick it off.
Extra Instagram followers.
Them thirsty licks. You can't waste your macros. What are you having for dinner, Shawnee, besides watermelon?
Butter.
And then?
Ow.
And then?
And a bagel. And chicken.
And a whole tub of chicken. It's called micronutrients. Macronutrients.
Fatronutrients.
Fatronutrients.
And bagels.
And my delicious pumpkin pancakes.